Oh, hold on. Let me make sure I got it off gallery view because. Okay. Oh, hold on. All right. So happy Tuesday. Happy first of the month. It is March 1st. Y'all got y'all goals for the month? I still haven't written mine down, but it's still the first. So, I got a little bit of time. I got just a little bit of time to get things in order for the rest of the month. But, it's the first of the month. I'm excited. I feel like because we always do this on a Tuesday, we almost always have our first call of the month on the first of the month. It's kind of like weird, but like amazing at the same time. So it's like divinely like organized, put together. So I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for March Madness. Who's gonna be there? Who am I gonna see in West Palm? Drop a one in the chat. Okay. Barbie, we're gonna see. Chrissy, we're gonna see. Girl, how you say your name? Isn't it like Tawana or something like that? Because you put Wana Wonders, and I'm like, I know that's not her first name. Like that's not it.
I just say T. It's easier.
All right, T. We're gonna see T, and we're gonna see Sana. Marquia, you coming to the next event, right?
I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna pray a little bit harder.
Yes, girl.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna pray with you. All right. We all go pray.
I appreciate that. For real.
Because I haven't seen you. I think the last time I saw you was I Am United, right?
When we were in Houston.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
So
yes, thank you, all y'all.
You're welcome. So, oh my God, you guys, it's so exciting to be here. I feel like nervous and excited at the same time. So,
Cherokee, what's her name? The person that just spoke right now? The other queen?
Marquia.
Marquia? Okay.
Yes. All right. So, ladies, we're going to get into the 4 agreements. Who here has read this book? You can drop a 7 if you've read this book so far in your journey. And if you haven't, that's okay, because we're gonna get into it. Okay, Barbie, I see you. Marquia. All right. All right, the audio. I'm not an audio kind of person. Like I've done it and it just, all I want to do is fall asleep. Honestly, I have to read the actual book. Even if I have the book and I'm listening to the audio, I still want to fall asleep. It's weird, but I'm proud of you for listening to the audio, because whatever works for you works for you. You know what I'm saying? So it is a book that has found its way into my life, that I actually heard a training on it from Chairman 25 Nino, like back in the day. Like this was maybe 2020 when I heard him do the 4 agreements training. And I was like, I don't need to read that book. Psych. I was gifted this book 4 to 6 months ago. And I was like, all right, let me just sit down and start reading it. And I was like, why do I feel like I don't know the 4 agreements? I was like, that training I got was extensive and it was amazing, but it's very different when you read it yourself, because you ever heard anybody talk about when they've read a book that pairs to a movie, like Harry Potter or the Twilight movies, and they're like, the movie sucked, because when we read the books, we're making actual pictures with our minds. So we envision every single detail very differently, as opposed to even how the film is going to be. So when I was reading the book, I was like, even though I got the training on it and it was a really good training, my mind is envisioning every single like phrase and term differently. So I was really excited to actually get through this book and understand more about how to apply the four agreements into my life. And it's a short book, but it's not a short read. It's something that really makes you like reflect and like look at yourself. Like you're facing yourself a lot with this book. And I like books like that. Like I like books that make me think. Don't mind my laundry in the back, y'all. It's clean. I just didn't put it away yet. So to start off the book, right? And what it talks about before we even get into the actual agreements of life, of how you should maneuver, it talks about dreams and domestication. And when it talks about dreams, it's not necessarily dreams when we sleep. It's like visions of reality and what has been formed for us to think about. Like when people talk about the American dream, why people come to America or why they have come to America to live the American dream and to live a free life of opportunity and stuff like that. That type of American dream is still talked about today as if it exists, and it really doesn't, you know? So that's not the only type of dream that's been taught to us. There's different dreams in society that have been put together that are just ideas that other people have had and that they want to happen and that they instill in other people. So it goes on for generations and generations, and people just keep adding to those ideals. And now we just all live a certain way. And we're all familiar with that because we're now shifting our paradigms from being employees to entrepreneurs, to understanding that we don't have to live just working a 9 to 5 to retire and then live out 10 years off of our 401ks or off of a pension that actually doesn't even exist anymore. We can retire whenever we really want, as long as we put in the work and live life how we want to live it. We don't have to, have a boss. We don't have to, do everything the way that people think we should. We don't have to live with the status quo. We can do something very different. But it doesn't mean that, we didn't grow through a lot through the years that we've had so far in our lives, that we still sometimes have a hard time thinking in the entrepreneur way, in the free way. We still catch ourselves thinking of how we were raised, because it's not just our parents who taught us, it's their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents for the last hundreds of thousands of years. That it's like, you have to live this way. This is how everyone is going to work and do things for the rest of their lives. And we're coming to a point where we're like, that doesn't work anymore. So now we're creating our own dreams, our own beliefs. And we're now looking to instill those new beliefs into the next generations to come so that they can live a different dream. Okay. And one thing that they talk about in the Four Agreements book with dreams and domestication is that because everything comes from our parents when we're first growing up, like that's our only source. Like how when there wasn't any internet or there wasn't any books, the only source of information you have are the adults around you. So it's like, how can we not believe what they say when they are all we have? Like for like us raising children, we are doing our best to instill certain beliefs in them that we want them to have. And we have to be careful of the things that we do feed them, because we are their only source of information for a very long time, until they go to school and get exposed to other people and other types of information. Like my son is 3 years old, and I got to remember that I got to teach him certain stuff for him to understand. And if I don't, he's either just going to remain, ignorant, or naive until someone comes along and they teach him otherwise. And it may not be the way that I would have taught him. It may not be the same type of information that I would have given to him. And then now I got to deal with the consequences of that. Like, damn, like maybe if I would have like taught him first, it would have been different. He would have looked at things differently. And, with beliefs, we're just taught to believe things, even though we may not agree with them. Like sometimes, oh, okay. So like, for example, I used to go to church a lot with my mom, and she took me to this church that I did not like. It was a church that talked a lot, like a lot of shit about people. Like, it's one thing to teach the word of God and to talk about the stories in the Bible, but it's another thing to like literally ridicule different types of people while you're up there on stage. Like, I don't know what anyone else believes in here, specifically about like sexual orientation, but I cannot tell you how many times I went to the youth group session and they're talking about nothing but being gay is a sin. Being gay is wrong. You're going to go to hell, where it actually doesn't say that in the Bible at all. And it would hurt my soul to hear that all the time, because a lot of people that did go to those sessions were gay or bisexual or still figuring it out. And it's like, they don't feel like they belong. So now they don't even want to go to church to listen to the word of God because they're getting constantly ridiculed. Or like, you can't even be next to a boy without the church people being like, no, you're too close. No, you can't hug each other. No, like we know that you guys are trying to have sex. It's like, bro, we're in church. Chill out. Chill out. It was like crazy. And I love God, and I got saved in 2015. But at the same time, I refuse to go to churches who have certain beliefs that they're trying to instill in people like that. Like, sorry, not sorry. I'm not going to contribute to the message that you're trying to convey. So, but my mom loved that church, y'all. My mom was like, let's go. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, we're out. Let's go to the women's retreat. And I'm like, I don't want to be around those people. So it was like, no matter what, I had to go. And I mentioned that, the beliefs that we have that have been given to us, we may not agree with them. And it's because like our soul being knows what's right and what's wrong before we do. So when certain things are being taught to us and we're like, that don't sound right, but like, I got no one else to listen to for like the time being, I'm just going to have to deal with it. It's like, it's crazy that even exists within us, like that we have that before we're even conscious of it. Okay. I'm looking at my notes here real quick. So when we have those beliefs instilled into us, right, we're making agreements with those beliefs because we're living by them. We're living a certain way because things have to be a certain way. And when you're making agreements with yourself about even who you are or what you feel or how you're supposed to behave, that's how your personality is created. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose, y'all. Okay. So yeah, that is how your personality is created. So at one point in time, when you get older, you start looking at yourself and you start looking at what you're allowing within your personality. And you're like, is this who I really am? Or is this who I'm going to stay? Right? And you're like, I think I want to alter some things within my personality because not everything fits the right way. Or, what have I been agreeing to that is actually holding me back? Or what is making me suffer? So you start to create these new agreements in your life that fit better so that you can live better. And when you do something like this, you're breaking those old agreements, those old habits that have been instilled into you. And sometimes that can be hard because you're like, this is all I know. And I don't want to, be a disgrace to my family for doing something different, for believing something different, even though it feels wrong to continue to follow their lead. And that comes from fear. When we don't want to break away from what we've been taught to find something new that we know is true to us, that's fear. And we want to eliminate fear because it's a low vibration and it keeps us stuck. So you have to ask yourself, are you ready to claim your personal power? And if you're ready to claim your personal power, drop a 3 in the chat. I'm gonna drop my 3 because I'm ready. I'm ready. I feel like I'm happy that it all day. Yes, Sana. All day. I feel like we need to make sure that we're claiming our personal power because no one else is going to do it for us. And we don't want to stay stuck. We got shit to do. We got shit to do. We got things that we want to accomplish. And with all of that being said, we now get into our first agreement. And the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. So it's very important that we do that. And when you're being impeccable with your word, it's not just like, oh, my word is bond and what I say is always going to be the truth, or I'm going to keep my promises with other people. It's, are you keeping your promises with yourself? When you say that you're going to do something, are you doing it? Like in this business, when you say, I'm going to hit P600, are you doing the things that you need to do to hit P600? If you're not, then you're not being impeccable with your word. Are you, when you say that, you want to complete your 90-day compound plan, are you doing the things that you need to do? Are you staying consistent? Are you only stopping at your 5 or 8% daily goal? Are you over trading? Are you over leveraging? If you're doing those things, you're not being impeccable with your word. So when something about the way that we speak, right? You know how we talk about, words are spells. Not only are they spells, but through the word, you express your creative power. Just like how when God created everything, he just spoke it. He didn't have to dig anything up. He wasn't there on his hands and knees doing stuff. He literally just was speaking out and it was happening because he was being impeccable with his word. He was creating. That is how powerful we are, because we are God's highest form of creation. And we need to remember that at all times. Write it on your walls, write it on your mirrors. Like, everything that you say has a lot of power in it. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will all be manifested through the word. The word is a force. The word is a force. It is the power you have to express and communicate, to think, and to create the events in your life. Yes, imagination is everything. Literally, like, I don't know who was on Rising Elevation this morning with CEO, but she did the thing, okay? She talked a lot about clear vision and how it transforms into the action of our everyday lives and what it goes into. Yeah, yo, hold on. Let me give y'all the 3 keys for clear vision real quick if you missed it. Okay? Because you ask God for vision, and sometimes he just be giving it to you even when you don't ask it. You know what I'm saying? But the 3 keys for clear vision. 1, divine inspiration. 2, use your imagination. 3, intercession. I got to look up that word because I'm not exactly sure what that one means, but it sounded real good when she said it. Meaning of intercession. It's the first time I've ever actually heard that word. Okay, so intercession is the action of intervening on behalf of another. So
Wait, say that again, please.
Which one? Number 3?
Number 3, the definition.
Okay. The action of intervening on behalf of another. Through the intercession of friends, I was able to obtain her prayers of intercession. The action of saying a prayer on behalf of another. Okay. It also says the action of saying a prayer on behalf of another person. So if I'm not mistaken, intercession is like, it has to do with the vision that you're developing. So like a CEO, if I can give an example, with I Am Women's, she's praying over that idea that wasn't to really impact her, it was to impact all of those women that attend those events that are part of this movement. So you're praying over other things. It's for you because you've been given the vision, but it's more so for other people. Does that make sense? Okay. And after you've gone through that key, that last one of intercession, then it's time for you to make an investment, right? You make an investment on your vision. And you have to invest even in people. And when you invest into people, God gives you influence. And once you have obtained influence, it is time for invasion. So now you're ready to get out there and go do the thing. You're ready to execute. So it was amazing how she broke stuff down this morning. I was like, who this? Like, for real. It was amazing. especially because I had missed the first time that she did the 3 keys, which I think was last week. But I know that you guys can catch the replay on her Instagram. She records, she goes IG live when she does Rising Elevation. So today was part 4. So she's done with her talks about vision. So the whole thing, all of them are there on her Instagram for sure. You know, at CEO Chastity. All right. So we're going to get back into it. When we are looking to be impeccable with our word, we have to think about words, right? Because the words come from our thoughts. And one thing the book says is every human mind is fertile, but only for those kinds of seeds it is prepared for. So when we want to create, right? When we're looking to create certain things, we have to make sure that we have the seeds to create. Like we're planting. Because, you know, there are people out there who can plant a lot of stuff, but it doesn't mean that it's good stuff. There's people out there who they use their word to create negativity, to create doubt, to create, you know, evil. And we don't want to create those types of things. So we have to be conscious of what type of seeds we already have in our minds that we're going to be able to put out into the world. What can we feed? All right, so they break down the word impeccable. And the I-M in the word impeccable means without, right? That's the prefix, means without. And this is, I think this is in Latin. Yeah. And that last word comes from a Latin word called peccatus, but you know, the peccable part in Latin means without sin. I mean, sin, my bad. So altogether, it means without sin. So it's interesting that it like talks a little bit about religion because it's not a religious book, but you have to really think about it. Like when you lie, that's technically a sin because you're being deceitful, even the smallest of lies. So when you want to be impeccable with your word, you have to tell the truth, not because it's right or because it feels good, but because you need to just, because you're putting those things out into the universe, you know? So I thought that was interesting that they broke it down that way. I was like, I really didn't think about it like that. And they even kind of break down sin. Like, what is a sin? When we're talking about anything, a sin is anything that you do which goes against yourself. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. When you lie, you're going against yourself, because whether you're lying to someone else or even lying to yourself, you're creating a false narrative. You're putting something out there that doesn't even exist, that you want to exist to make you feel better. Or like people who cheat. You're going against yourself and your marriage, and even against your temple, your body, when you go out there and you step out on your relationships. When you drink too much alcohol or you do drugs, you're harming your body. Those are sins. You know, I was like, wow, like that makes a lot of sense. You're going against yourself when you're sinning. It's very simple to like just break it down that way. I was like, okay. And when you're in that state of working on being impeccable with your word, you also have to be impeccable with your actions. So you're now taking responsibility for the things that you do. But when you're taking responsibility and you're owning the stuff that you've done, you're not judging or blaming yourself. And I know that this is big because sometimes we grow through things and we even, talk down to ourselves. We give like that negative self-talk, like, why was I so stupid? Why did I do that? How could I have done that? I should have known better. When will I get it right? And the more you continue to talk to yourself like that, the longer it's going to take you to get over that stage in your life, because you hear yourself more than anyone else hears you. So you're not saying it just out loud. You're saying it out loud and in your head. So you're hearing it more than once. And we understand that what we hear in our mind a lot is going to affect how we continuously think, but also how we act to everyone else. The more we talk down to ourselves, the more it's hard for us to even embrace other people because we think so low of ourselves. We think that we're not good enough to be around certain people, or we think that other people are better than us, when we should think not that we're better than other people, but we should think very highly of ourselves. We should be like, well, I'm the shit. Okay, nobody tell me nothing. I make mistakes and that is okay because I am growing. I am learning. Once you stop growing, once you stop learning, you're dying. And that's not what you want to do. So it's all right when you're making mistakes. It's all right when you've learned something and you should have known better. Just because you have the knowledge doesn't mean that you're going to stop making mistakes. We're going to continue to make mistakes until we don't make those mistakes and we make different types of mistakes, like, because we're still learning and there's always going to be more to learn. So I want to encourage you guys to, if you do or if you don't, like, because I know that I know y'all are developed, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes we have those moments where we kind of like try to beat ourselves up for being human. And Queen, it's wrong. Stop beating yourself up for the simplest of things, and even for the big things. Like, even if girl, it could be like you lost some money somewhere and you're like, damn, like, what the fuck? Like, how could I do some shit like that? Like, you get so mad, you like, you know what? I could have paid this with that. I was supposed to do this with that. But let me tell you something. When stuff like that happens, someone else who found it needed it way more than you did. And God does not run out of resources. So there's more. There's more in his bank. All right. So it's coming back. It's coming back. All right. Okay. Y'all, even when we get mad at other people and we, cuss them out or we degrade them or we talk down to them, we're still not being impeccable with our word and we're still hurting ourselves. Because everything that we put out into the universe is going to come directly back to us. So we need to be mindful of that too. That when we get in our emotions and we just want to like jump on somebody else about the shit that they're doing. We need to like take a chill pill, because it's not going to help us prosper or progress either. Like, you ever been around those people who like they just like argue, or they want to argue with you, but like you don't pay them no mind, so they continue to argue with you, or like they're arguing with the air at this point. Okay. And then even when they stop, just sometimes more bad shit starts happening to them or in their lives, and it's just like, damn, like you're like, yo, did you see that? Because I saw that. Like, you put out all this energy, you said all of these crazy negative things, and nothing good came out of it. So we need to make sure that we're not doing that either, because we don't want that coming back to us at all. And it never comes back the same way we put it out. It'll come back even harder. We're like, damn, like that shit hit me. Like, what? No, we don't need none of that. So let's be mindful of that too. Even getting, yes, you reap what you sowed. 10x for sure. Yes, it can definitely come back on our kids. Yo, the like generational curses are real. And it's like, you could wish bad on somebody, wish that they hurt themselves, and then boom, your kid got a black eye or something. Like, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? It doesn't always have to happen directly to you. It'll happen to the people around you. It's so like crazy. All right, what we got next? Because I was like highlight master when I was reading this book. You don't even know. I damn near highlighted the whole book. Okay, so this was something that I was like, wow, in this book. Hold on, y'all. I think my son's trying to come inside. Zephaniah, you need something? Yeah, come inside. What's up? Want to say hi? No. Okay, damn. All right, so then I'm going to continue if you're not going to come and say hi. Okay, so when people constantly want to talk bad over us or over our lives, or okay, no, I have a question to ask. When you were younger, or even in your adult life, when you're being your open self, your charismatic self, your lively self, have you ever had individuals in your life, whether they're family, friends, significant others, tell you like, you shouldn't be like that? You should like turn it down a notch, or you shouldn't be so happy all the time, or you shouldn't sing. And it may or may not. All right, you got it, Chrissy. Love you, girl. And you may or may not. Okay, those words and actions may or may not have made you feel some type of way, or maybe even made you like shy. Like you don't want to do those things anymore now because someone said you shouldn't do them. So when stuff like that happens, that's considered black magic. Yo, same. I made the same face reading the damn book. I was like, what? I was like, ain't no way somebody did black magic on me. Nope. But it's considered black magic because they poisoned part of your soul, because they did whatever they did, they said whatever they said, and it made you different. It controlled a piece of you that you felt was so connected to you. And now you're not the same anymore. Now you don't know what it's like to be that lively person anymore. And I went through that. You know, I couldn't even be smart, like show how intelligent I could be, to the point where now in my adult life, and it still happens to me, that I'm scared to share how intelligent I am, because people have told me that I think I'm a know-it-all, or that I've had the comment of, oh, sorry, I didn't go to college. Y'all, I didn't go to college. I went to a technical school to learn how to become a seamstress. My highest level of education is high school. I didn't have no books in my tech school or nothing. So I just know a lot of words, or like bigger words, or maybe even complex words. Speak differently. And I just turned 25, but like I've always been this way. So like it's always been like weird looking to have conversations with people and then telling me like, you shouldn't speak like that because no one else talks like that. And, you know, like just trying to like downplay my smartness. And I'm like, now I don't want to share that with people. Now I want to like, not pretend like I'm dumb, but like I stay quiet and I don't share a lot of my insight, because I don't want to make other people feel intimidated, because that's what I'm used to. And I didn't realize that was like people doing black magic on me, because they was, excuse me, because they was like afraid of my greatness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous. And it's something that I've been learning to work through, because I shouldn't be afraid to be my open self and smart all the time. It is who I am. And if I can help teach people certain things, I would love to do that. At the same time, I have to make sure that whoever I'm talking to, they're open to learning, because not everyone is. Now, some people who have done black magic on us don't know that they've done it, because they've been people have done it to them. So they're used to negative talk. They're used to, you know, just talking down to people, you know, like my father, right? He did his best to lift us up, but a lot of things he would lift us up were about our physical attributes, never really about our mental and spiritual. And he did a lot of things to bring us down in other areas, in other ways. And it's something that he grew up with, where his mom was always talking down to him, talking, you know, bad about him, about everything that he was. And, you know, even when he was just doing his best to be just a regular kid and a teenager. So he didn't know any better. So when we have these experiences with these people, it hurts. And we may not want to be around these people, but we need to forgive them, because they don't always know what they're doing. And we need to make sure that it doesn't matter what it is that they're saying to us, that we don't accept their opinion, because that's all it is. It's their opinion of whatever. And it's not necessarily even of us sometimes. We need to make sure that we don't agree, like we don't take it in as an agreement, because when we're like, damn, they may be right, what happens? We change, right? We change everything about ourselves. So then we go on living because we accepted that opinion. Imagine if you accepted every single opinion that anyone ever gave you in your entire life. You would not be who you are today. You would be some transformed mess of something, just all of these different ideals of other people. Like T would not be T. You would be whatever name that they decided to give you. Sana would not be Sana. Markia would not be Markia. Barbie would not be Barbie. Erica would not be Erica. Julia would not be Julia. Like we would be completely different people. Yes, we have the power to accept or reject. Heard you. Okay. So when we have, because sometimes we do agree with them, right? We do take it in and we change ourselves. And it's hard to break these types of spells in Black magic. The only way for us to break those spells is to form new agreements of truth. What is true about each and every single one of you that combats that spell of Black magic that they put together? What is something that you know lives within you that you want to be able to express on the outside? And this is cliche, but only the truth will set you free.
It's you. Please.
What?
Please.
I don't even know what you're saying. You're just being giggly, sir. Oh, y'all, this is a good one. I was like, wow. Okay. So another type of Black magic that we get exposed to. Juice? Is that what you're asking me for?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you ask Erica for juice?
No.
No. Well, I guess what? Mommy's busy. You're gonna have to wait. So
Juice, please.
you heard what I said? Oh, you know the camera's on. He be acting funny. Mm-mm. All right. Another form of Black magic that, excuse me. No, Steph, if you cannot behave, then you cannot stay in the room with me. Y'all. Okay. Another form of Black magic that we are exposed to. Excuse me, I am. All right. Another form of Black magic that we get exposed to is gossip. Gossip. People who just sit around and talk and give their opinions on other people. Yes. I was like, oh my God. So gossip is Black magic at its very worst because it is pure poison. And we learn how to gossip as children. We just be nosy. Julia, stop it. And it's not just poison, it's emotional poison. And it's crazy because gossip has become one of the main forms of communication amongst society. Like, I know what it's like to gossip. I know y'all know what it's like to gossip. And it kind of just wastes time if you really think about it. You're just sitting there talking about whatever it is that you think about someone or a group of people, but it doesn't really change anything. It doesn't change anything about your life, about their life. You're just sitting there talking and like exchanging all of this energy. And sometimes it even makes you feel worse, either about yourself or even about the people, or you learn something new in gossip about somebody that you didn't know. And you're like, I don't like them now. I can't fuck with them. And it's like, we need to learn how to not do that anymore. It's news. Julia, stop it. Like, and we learn to gossip from our parents. You ever been a kid hearing your parents gossip about the neighbors or about, you know, the local, like certain things in the neighborhood, certain wives or certain couples, or even like the local like corner store people like that work there. Like, you're always hearing something. Or even about your own family. They sit there and gossip about your family, what they don't like about what certain family members are doing with their lives. But I bet you they won't say it to their face. How about that? Like, what is you sitting around here talking about all this stuff, but you ain't even gonna tell nobody what you think. So in the way gossip, or even the way gossip trains our minds, right? Here they compare gossip to a computer virus. So our minds, right? Like how we talk about being programmed, our minds are like a computer. The second a virus infiltrates the computer system, everything gets messed up. Everything gets messed up, you know, especially you ain't got that like antivirus protection. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got that yet. We haven't developed the protection from the virus. So now we're letting this virus grow and spread. And now the computer is operating, but it's operating off of the virus that was put into it. So now all we know how to do is gossip and be negative. And when you're constantly being negative, you don't know how to produce good results. You don't know how to make things better or how to change things, because all you want to do is complain about other things and other people. So in gossip, in dealing with gossip, we need to be careful about even the information we give to people about people, because you can tell someone about someone else without it being gossip. You know, gossip is more like when you're giving a lot of opinions of stuff and you're, you know, just talking shit to talk shit. Now, if you're talking to one of your friends, one of your business partners, one of your family members about someone, bless you. Maybe because you're concerned or because you found out something new that you thought was interesting. We have to make sure that whatever information we give is actually true. Because when you just start like, oh, I heard this, or I think I heard that, or this seems like it's this way, now you start, that's where like other opinions in other people's minds start to form, because the information is not all there. And when misinformation is given out, it breaks down communication, like that game Telephone. Yo, I know y'all have played Telephone. Like, by the time it gets to the fifth, sixth person, it is not the original message. It is something completely different. And now everybody has a different idea of what was said. It's like, no. We cannot do that. And it's it's contagious because the game of telephone never stops. It never stops. It continues to go on and go on and go on. In the book, it says, the result is a world full of humans who can only read information through circuits that are clogged with a poisonous, contagious virus. That's how they put it. And it's true. Even when we turn on the news, I feel you, T. Like literally, you're the other person I really see. Like you always got some kind of reaction. It's good though. It's good though. It helps. But like literally, I don't watch the news for a perfect reason. There's always something different or something negative. Somebody's dying, somebody robbed something, somebody did something bad to their children, somebody's in jail, there's stuff that's going on with the government. Like there's so much stuff, and none of like then you go to like a different channel and they're talking about the same stuff, but the information is different. And you're like, what are you talking about? I just heard CNN say this and now Fox News want to say this. No, it's just too much. And like, then you go to your friends or you go to your coworkers and everybody's talking about the same type of stuff, but even their information is skewed because no one knows what they're talking about. So we're literally just exchanging information through those, through the clogged circuits. Like it's just wild. Like what are we even talking about anymore? Haha. This is a good one. When we see the world through a computer virus, it is easy to justify the cruelest behavior. And now that I talked about the news, right? How many times have we seen possibly, right, people who have gotten arrested for doing X, Y, and Z, and we're like, I could see why they did that. Oh, if I was in that position, I probably would have did the same thing. We're justifying what they did because we're. Are you okay? Is that Zephaniah, are you okay?
White car.
I don't know where your white car is.
Mama, white car's under your bed.
Oh, well, you're gonna have to wait for it, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hmm.
All right. So, right, we're justifying behaviors because we're just so used to everything being negative that we're like, well, they couldn't have done a better job. Like that was it. They tried. It was all right that they did this or that. Nah, I can't bring myself to justify behaviors anymore. I'm like, yep, I believe that they did it for whatever reason they felt was good enough. But like, I wouldn't even put myself in a position to have to justify my actions to do something like that. Like, nope, no, sir, not me, not I. So now that we've identified what it is to be impeccable with our word, right? And how Black magic works within ourselves, within other people, and how it can be transferred, we're starting to understand the power of words and what it does, right? And when you begin to understand those things, you start to see the changes that can actually happen, what is possible in your life, because you're becoming more conscious and aware of the word. And the changes that you see the first change you see is how you deal with yourself, right? How it is that we're going to start talking to ourselves, how it is that we're going to set our goals, speak our goals, and continue to act on them, because we can't just be speaking stuff to be speaking stuff. And then you see how your words are towards other people. Like sometimes, like how I was talking earlier, we let people argue with themselves. Even sometimes when we engage in those conversations, we're no longer arguing anymore. We're listening, we're offering our perspective, we're being respectful, we're not overstepping any boundaries, we're not name calling, we're not talking down to people. We're simply having different types of conversations now because we understand what words can do. And even we're starting to use our words to create more. We're starting to instill more vision in other people because we understand what it does. And this is cool too. Impeccability of the word will also give you immunity from anyone putting a negative spell on you. Because you know yourself now. You know what words mean to you and what words you're saying to yourself. When you say your affirmations, or when you hold yourself accountable, but you're not judging yourself and you're not blaming yourself. No one else can do anything to you anymore. No one else can put their negative ideals on you. No one else can tell you about yourself anymore. You'll listen, right? Because, some people, you just got to let them do their thing. But it doesn't mean that you have to agree with what they're saying. You no longer have to take offense to what they're saying. You're like, look, that's how you feel. Like, that's cool. Some of it is projection. I get it. But like, you're not about to tell me that I got to feel that way about myself anymore because I don't agree. And you can measure the impeccability of your word by your level of self-love. How much you love yourself and how you feel about yourself are directly proportionate to the quality and integrity of your word. And reading that made me very happy, honestly, because it's like, okay, as I'm doing these steps and I'm transforming how I speak to others, to myself, what else does it do for me? It shows me how much I love myself. It shows me that I'm committed to loving myself now because I'm treating myself better, because we are our worst critics all the time. Whether we're moms, whether we're women, men, like we are all our worst self-critics. Like it's crazy. And when you start to love yourself more and you're on this journey to really look at yourself different, it changes everything around you. It changes how you posture up. It changes how you show up in the present form. It changes your relationships with people. It changes your relationships with your kids because you love yourself now, because you're no longer stressing too much about how they feel and what's going on with them because you've loved yourself first. You've been there for yourself first. That's why morning routines are important. That's why those self-care hours or days are really important, so that you don't feel so stressed or like, oh, I never get anything done for myself, because you've already taken care of yourself. Now you can take care of everyone else in your family and in your household. So I'm gonna wrap this up because we've been on here for a while, but I'm happy that y'all stayed. So being impeccable with your word is so much more, as you guys can see, than just saying things and being like honoring those things. It helps with everything in life, everything that we're currently doing, everything that we want to do. We have to continuously be impeccable with our word, and everything else starts to fall into place once you do that. So that is the first agreement to the 4 agreements. So we are going to have the next 3 weeks that we're going to go over the rest of the agreements one at a time, because it's a lot. It's a lot to really think about and to talk about. And if you got some value, guys, drop a 7 in the chat for me if you feel like you learned something new, or like you're going to apply something into your life now. You know, it's going to be a little hard, it's going to be a little challenging, but it's so worth it, y'all. It is so worth it. I'm beyond excited that you guys were able to get some gems. Oh, let's start doing something. Let's start dropping like at least 1 gem in the chats that we learned from these sessions. You know, I see other people do it with like rising elevation and other little like calls that we have. So I think it would be a great idea. So and it'd be helpful, you know, let other people know that like we're really learning shit in here. We be doing stuff. We get to the business. Okay. So I'm beyond grateful for you guys for showing up today. I'm glad that you guys are continuing to show up every single day for yourselves, and that you're eager to learn something new and to grow. You know, and I feel like I really would not be able to do these calls without you ladies. Like, you guys are super consistent with showing up, and like, we don't know each other, but we know each other. Okay. Y'all my homegirls. Okay. So I'm super happy and grateful for you guys. Like, I don't even have like the words to put into like how grateful I am. So I'm gonna let y'all go because, you know, it's gonna be 11 o'clock and I know we all got stuff to do. I still gotta write down my goals for the month. You know, I got an hour. But you know, better late than never. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen. And that's it, you guys. I drop loving your last name, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.